Welcome back to the channel. I am Matt Sokol, a full-time sneaker reseller, and today we're going to be doing another upcoming Jordan video discussing the Jordan 1 Retro High Tokyo Biohack, or as some people are calling it, the Baroque Brown, as it says on the box. This shoe is going to be releasing Friday, September 4th, so this Friday, for a retail price of $170 USD. Let me just say, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Like all upcoming sneaker videos, I'm going to be discussing the design of the shoe. I'm going to be discussing where you can buy the shoe and how many pairs are going to be released. And finally, if you're a big baller, resale predictions. How much is it going to go for after the drop? And also where and how you can make the most money on this shoe, because it's not just about buying it and selling it. There's a lot of strategy that goes into where to sell it and when to sell it, and we go over that. And honestly, I'm most proud of my resale prediction category and everything I say in that in all of my upcoming videos, so make sure you stay tuned for the end. Without further ado, let's get into it. As I mentioned, some people are calling this one the Tokyo Biohack. I think most people are calling it that. You know, the shoe's supposed to be inspired by the streets of Tokyo, and it's very fast, high-paced, bright colors. Okay, cool. So, NiceKicks.com describes this shoe by saying, inspired by 2005's lauded Undefeated x Nike Dunk High collab, the Air Jordan 1 High OG Biohack is crafted from various colored panels ranging from Baroque Brown, Black, Laser Orange, and Racer Pink, the same color scheme as the aforementioned Undefeated x Nike Dunk High. Rounding out the overall look is a pink liner, orange tongue, and a mint green midsole and rubber outsole. Fans can expect the Air Jordan 1 OG Biohack to drop September 4th for $170. And just like in 2005, this release could be limited to only 5,000 pairs. So I'll touch the stock numbers in the next section. So first, I guess I'll show you a picture of the original Undefeated Nike Dunk High that they're referring to. And we could do a side by side. You can see it's a lot of the, you know, same or similar colors, and definitely a similar color scheme overall. However, it definitely is still different and unique and not the same shoe. Cool that they're doing a remake like that, I guess. My first thought when I saw the picture of the shoe was like, wow, that's just a ugly ass shoe. Then I was thinking about it and I'm like, you know what? When you were in 7th grade, you did Nike ID, and I literally got a neon ass, like mix match, like, you know, similar bright colors and just random mix match Nike ID. If you're an OG, I don't know if you could still do it. You could put those custom messages on the Nike, or you could at least. So one shoe I picked Get At, and the other one said Me. I was in like 7th, 8th grade maybe. I thought I was like the coolest man alive. And so now I'm seeing this kind of bright color, and I'm like, it takes me back to those days. And I do like bright colors personally myself. It's a unique mismatch of color, right? Because at first I saw it, I'm like, this shoe just looks like ass. And that was just, you know, off the top. Wasn't really looking at it, my first impression. And I feel like a lot of times I have a first impression like that, and then once I get into it, start dissecting the shoe, I appreciate it a little bit more. So this one, you know, I looked at it a little bit more in depth. I'm looking at pictures and I'm like, you know what? The shoe is not that bad because it's pieced together well. Even though it's a mismatch, the colors flow together and they sit together in a way that it's not like, wow, that's just really, really ugly. And I could see how people would, like me, have that reaction right away. It's like, yo, this is trash. And then they look at it and they're like, it's honestly not bad. So I guess we'll start with the bottom of the shoe. The outsole is black, very clean. And then the midsole, they call it a mint. I think it looks like mint as well. That's kind of cool. The first thing I thought of when I saw that is like, I don't know if you ever like mowed your lawn or you've seen other people mowing their lawn and they're wearing like white Forces, and after a couple sessions of that, the shoes, they're not like dark green, but they're that light green from like the grass clippings rubbing against it. And that's kind of what I saw on this, and I'm like, that's kind of funny. It would be cool if they made the outsole and the midsole that color, but of course they're going for the mismatch. We move on to the toe cap, which is like a baby blue aqua type color. And there's also a little bit of that same color, the same material on the back of the shoe. I'm honestly not even sure what that part of the shoe is called, but like on the back of the shoe, a little bit of that as well. And then the toe cap and up through where you lace the shoe, it's like a darker, more royal blue, which has a nice contrast between the two. And both of those colors, of course, also have a nice contrast between that mint green on the midsole. The shoe has a silver metallic swoosh, which is a nice touch, a little metallic on top of that mismatch. The tongue of the shoe is like this yellow orange kind of, it's not quite a taxi cab color. It's a little bit more orange in my opinion than that. But then On the inside of that tongue, and the whole sock liner really, it is that racer pink, Nike's calling it, that bright pop pink. Something unique about this Jordan 1 is like, it's not the exact same as all the other Jordan 1s as far as like the actual makeup of the shoe. So what I mean by that is this tongue, it's not a traditional tongue that we're used to seeing on Jordan 1s. It's kind of that like deconstructed tongue, almost like that off-white vibe to it, where, you know, it's like kind of open on the top and on the sides, a little bit fraying. Just a different overall feel to that shoe, if you don't know what I'm talking about. The laces, it comes with the black laces on it, and then it also comes with the matching racer pink laces, which that's what I'm rocking, if you ask me. I just got my Bel Air 5s. Those came with the neon green joints. I'm gonna throw those in. That's what I like. You're wearing shoes. It's nice to have them clean sometimes, but other times like you just want to pop and stand out. And so I would go with the racer pink all the way on that one. And then towards the back of the shoe, you have like this brown, I believe it's a suede, and it looks very similar, if not the same, to the Travis Scott 1 color, and also the brown Jordan 1 that they're gonna be releasing in, I believe, like a month or two. So I think a lot of people, myself included, love the brown touch on it. Of course, a little bit of black on the shoe as well. Something that I noticed just looking through the pictures, I was like, you know how I said this Jordan 1's a little bit different. I spoke about the tongue. Something else I noticed, let me grab a Jordan 1 so I could show you. So this is a core purple. Sorry I don't have one of these, but it's hard to get this stuff early. If you get stuff early and you're trying to hook a brother up, definitely slide into my DMs. It's kind of hard to see this, but this part with the top two lace holes, see this kind of this purple panel over this black. So on this one, it's sewed like this. On the Bio Hack, you can actually pull like the top two laces. It's not actually sewn to the rest of the shoe, and you can pull it back, and it's actually like a neon green, almost similar to the mint on the bottom, but I think it's a little bit brighter on the other side of that, on both sides. So that's pretty cool. And also something I noticed is that the stitching, I don't know why I think it's just dark on this part of the shoe. Maybe if I flip it. The stitching on this part of the shoe, is like totally different on the Bio Hack. It's like, listen, I'm not a professional clothing manufacturer, so I don't know the terminology exactly, but it's almost like with all the Jordans and the core purple I have, it's kind of just raw on the edges here. But on the Baroque Brown, it's almost like the rawness is folded over and sewed. So it's like a much nicer seam almost on it. And so I'm not sure if other people noticed that at all, because I watched some other videos of people that have them in hand talking about it, and no one seemed to really mention that. But I thought that was cool, and it added another like design element, another aesthetic element to the shoe. Anyway, that was probably the longest freaking design I've ever talked about, because there's so many different things going on with that shoe. But let's move on to the next part, which is stock/availability. Like I said previously, the first time I was reading about this, I saw that Nice Kicks said the OG pair that it was based on, there was only 5,000 pairs released, and they were saying that they heard that it might be 5,000 pairs this time. So I haven't heard if that's true or false. I'm assuming that it's false, because just based off of the prices that it's going for now, it wouldn't make sense for there to only be 5,000 pairs. And also, if there was only 5,000 pairs, there'd be less pairs online before it came out. And I mean, also just the amount of retailers that the shoe is gonna be available at. So I'm looking at the list here. We got East Bay, Kids Foot Locker, Foot Action, YCMC, Finish Line, JD Sports, DTLR, Chic, Shoe Palace. That's a fucking cookout. I cooked about 45 pairs of the Bel Airs off of Shoe Palace. If you didn't see that, make sure to check out my Twitter and follow me there as well for more information. Of course, it's gonna be releasing on Nike sneakers as well. You know, this is gonna be dropping on a bunch of sites as usual. Nike sneakers, if your manual, is gonna be a good bet, or not a good bet, but your best bet. Stock on this one, I'm expecting it to be just around average stock. And you know, I think about this shoe and I try to like think back to the past, and a lot of stuff's reselling now that in the past maybe it wouldn't, because the demand wasn't there. There wasn't as many people, you know, that were into shoes and all of that. And so I think this shoe is a good example of one that like a year or 2 years ago, people would have been like, that is just trash. And it would sit on the shelf, similar to what the Bloodline did. And the Bloodline was pretty clean colorway. And it sits there and they got to discount it. And then eventually, once it sells out, it goes up. But you got to understand, that's not the environment we're in today. The environment we're in is like people want the shoes right when they come out. That's going to affect how many you can buy, and also the resale predictions of it. So now we move on to resale predictions. Looking at the adult sizes, of course, this is dropping in grade school as well with the lower price point of, I believe it's 130 instead of 170. So more money, you know, better margins on those ones. But usually I just look at the adult sizes just to kind of base my resale predictions off of. And the prices right now are 300 to 350. Of course, today is Monday, so we're several days out. The price is gonna drop. I could see this by the time the drop happening, going down to like 225 to 250. I think this colorway is gonna surprise us as far as resale predictions. I think it's gonna be a little bit better than a lot of people think, just based on, you know, oh, it's not a very aesthetically pleasing shoe in comparison to what we usually see. And it's a little bit more out there. Definitely a little bit less wearable in terms of what you can wear it with and the occasions you can wear the shoe. I really think that after the drop, we're gonna see the adult sizes probably around the same range. Maybe even we'll see certain sizes go as low as like 200, 210, just because people, once they get them, they're gonna try to dump them. A lot of people are gonna be unsure about holding this. I think this is gonna be a good hold. And I think it's gonna be a good hold because, you know, generally you wanna do not maybe exactly what the market is doing, but you wanna kind of do the opposite of the market. Because if you're just doing what everyone's doing, you know, maybe you can win or you could lose, but you're never gonna be able to get a return like if you did something against the grain. So what I'm thinking with this one is that, like most Jordan 1s, the GS sizes generally have the most growth because, you know, it's a lower retail price. After the drop, it's going for less than the adult. And then usually it passes the adult sizes in price a couple months after the drop. And so I don't see this one as being any different. You know, I would probably sell my adult sizes at consignment just to keep it moving. And also just because the grade school sizes are gonna be, like I said, better profit on them. So hold the grade school sizes. I'm not talking about a crazy long hold, but most of the stuff I'm holding right now is like, I'm just targeting the holiday season because that's when a lot of money is gonna be spent. And so even though it's not gonna be the peak of the, you know, the pricing on that item, it's a great time to move out the volume. You know, if you got 10, 20 of them, it's gonna be easier to sell them and just get that money. A new year's coming, not even a new year's coming, but the end of this year's coming. There's plenty of more drops this year. Hold on to the grade school for 2 to 3 months towards this holiday season. Price of the shoe is gonna go up probably around $75 to $100. Maybe even more over what it is right, you know, after the drop happens with not exactly every single Jordan 1, but a good amount of the Jordan 1s, and especially the high quality ones, which this one is very nicely made. High quality shoe, definitely. And that's the resale prediction. I'm still gonna go random sizes on the drop because there's money to be made on anything. I say this every video, I'm gonna say it again. Don't sell this shoe on StockX. I wouldn't even really sell this shoe on GOAT. Jordan 1s are shoes that move fast in store at consignment. There's no reason to sell it on StockX or GOAT. And there's always people investing in them, like me, buying them up to hold them. And those people will pay you more money than online anyway. If you got a quick sell, try to find a person, do a direct sale, get more money. And if you don't want to do it that way, then send it to consignment like me. I don't know why everyone's sleeping on consignment, acting like StockX is the only way to sell a shoe. If you think that, you're probably a novice. You need to do more research and you need to educate yourself. Consignment's the look. I have many videos about it. If you're interested in that, definitely check them out on the channel. But that's it, a Jordan 1 drop. Definitely a cop, all sizes, random, don't sleep. If you get 100 clip, no reason to freak out, great cop. Money to be made. Maybe you're thinking, Matt, but how much can I get in consignment? Well, I'd be willing to bet after the drop, the adult sizes, they're not gonna sell for under 300 at consignment, probably 350 to 400 they sell for. There's probably gonna be some undercutters right away as there usually is. 300 plus, and on StockX it's gonna be 220 to 250, and so it's like, why are you gonna leave 20+% on the table? Don't. Are you a clown? Are you a bozo? No, you're not a bozo, you listen to me. Anyway, let me know your opinion on the shoe as well as the resale in the comments down below. I'm curious, do you guys want short videos for stuff like this, or you want long videos? I try to go in depth. Let me know in the comments down below. Also, there's a full drop list in the description down below. You can click on it, it's gonna be updated. If you liked the video and got anything out of it at all, please give it a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to the channel. I got a lot more videos on the way. Like I said, Bel Air Jordan 5 giveaway in the next vlog, so make sure you're keeping your eyes peeled for that one. I appreciate it. I love you. Stay good. Keep making money. Keep hustling. Don't give up. Don't get discouraged. And most of all, don't listen to the negative comments that other people have for you. That's it, baby. Let's do it. Let's make some money. I'll see you in the next one.